Hi, everybody. Suzanne Spooner, QHHT Level 3 practitioner, and I am coming to you from Des Moines, Iowa, from my office in downtown. And I have another QHHT session segment to share with you from the generosity of my client, whom I love. She's awesome. Okay, so I'm calling this one, I think, to declutter the mind. It was a theme in her session about how she can declutter the mind and have amazing access to all this knowledge that she knows and why she has cluttered her mind. It's kind of an experience that I think a lot of us can relate to and learn from through the wonderful advice of her high self. She calls soul is her preferred word. So just a tiny bit about the session. The past life is amazing. She's a gal, we find out later, is about in the early 1900s, somewhere in Malaysia. And it's like a oceanside fishing village. And it's her life as a young girl growing up in that community. Very interesting. She has some parallels in the childhood of that life to the childhood of this life, where she experienced a lot of freedom, and she learns why that was important for her to remember. And then we get over to the soul, which does an amazing bit of explaining about this decluttering of the mind and this theme that it wants to keep coming back to throughout the session. It works through her chakras in order to get everything in alignment and working together. She's pretty amazing. This is a great, fun session. Her high self is very animated. Was doing some very etherical hand movements through the healing part of the session, which was fun to witness. Her questions were amazing, and I think you will enjoy those. One of the really cool ones that she wanted to dive deeper into was about a meditation practice that she's created, that creates like a old time village square. And the square is surrounded by old buildings and shops, each with different doors. And each side of the four squares has different amounts of light being shown upon it. There's a row of very old doors with locks on them in the darkest part of the square. And she says these buildings seem to have old baggage, possibly prior to this life. And she wants some insight into what those old doors represent, and how to approach and open and process the information that's contained within them. She's a prolific dreamer. She closes her eyes and starts dreaming and gets up in the night and closes her eyes again. She's back in the dream again. So that was a fun conversation to have. This one, I haven't done this often, but I am including about the first 5 minutes of our post session after I count her up, so that you can hear her in her awake and aware state making sense of what just happened. It's kind of fun to listen to. It's always amazing to watch that part of the brain re-engage with what just happened. But she and I demonstrate something that I think is just a really profound gift and a tool that we all possess within ourselves. And I want to hear I want to hear her go through it so that you can possibly try to do this yourself, because it's so much easier than what we think it is. So in her past life that she visited, she's in, a place on the planet where most people have very dark hair, but her hair is light in color, it's blonde. And I picked up on that during that, and I was asking a little bit. Her mom had dark hair, she said. I was asking about her dad to see if maybe for some reason he carried that lighter hair. Because it was just kind of a side note that was interesting, but she didn't allude to that, so I just let it go. But when she comes out post-session and we're talking about it, she says, I wonder how that happened. Why did I have blonde hair? That doesn't make any sense for the place I was in. So I stop her and I ask her, ask yourself that question and see what the very first thought that comes to mind. And because that's my golden tip that I give everybody in a session is always say the first thing that comes to mind, because then we're accessing that part of our brain that knows all answers. And so she does. And she gets the answer, which is really fun to listen to. That's why I'm including that part into this segment. And the other fun part was she and I have been in contact since her session, and she's continued to do that. It was actually kind of a funny example she gave. She was staying in Des Moines with her sister for this session. They were sharing a hotel room, and they couldn't find the remote for the TV. And they looked everywhere for it and could not find the remote to the hotel TV. And so she says, hold on, I'm going to quiet myself down and ask my soul where this is. And the soul told her it's on the bed. And she's like, no, we already looked all over the bed. It's not there. And the answer she gets back is no, it's on the bed. And she starts looking on the bed, and there it is. So, I mean, kind of a funny, small way of using that skill, but it, I think, reinforced to her that she can access this part of her that has all the answers, and you can access that part of you that has all the answers. We all can do this. So that was just a fun demonstration that I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, so that's all I have for you. I think probably within the next 60 days or so, Sarah Bressman Cosby and I will be announcing the Egypt tour dates for 2025. So you can look for those on our website, ancientlifetimes.com. You can sign up to be on a list that gets notified as soon as we release that tour. I know that's kind of a popular thing to hit, so it fills up fast. So that's one big announcement. Other than that, just you can look for me at suzannespooner.com. And great gratitude and thanks to my beautiful client, Denise, for allowing me to share this amazing session with you. Let's just do a little bit of a recap here. So you're on the beach, and like a crescent-shaped beach. Sand is a little bit wet. You feel like there's maybe another beach over on the other side, perhaps. Does it feel like there's other people around or in other places there?
Maybe. It's almost a bit like it's not like it's deserted, but it just feels like, I don't know, this is not a beach that many people come to.
Okay. You said it felt very private.
It's very private. Behind me is like slight sand dunes, not very high ones, with a lot of grasses and things.
Okay. But they move with the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But once again, the wind is like, it's just like a light breeze. The water's relatively calm.
Okay. And when you look out into the water, what else do you notice?
I can see some waves breaking farther out. But it's just water, and then the horizon, and blue sky with a few white clouds. It's a bright sunny day, but not a hot sunny day.
Just perfect, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Now I want you to bring your focus to yourself there on that beautiful beach. When you look down, do you see your feet?
Yeah.
And are you barefoot, or do you wear anything on your feet?
I'm barefoot.
Okay. And as you move up the body, what are you wearing on your body there?
It's kind of like a blue and yellow, kind of like plaid, kind of like little skirt or something. like little cotton skirt.
Does it go all the way down your legs or just?
No, it's probably like mid-thigh.
Okay, so kind of short. And kind of blue and yellow plaid-like design?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you wear anything on the upper part of your body?
Yeah, I have on a little white shirt, and it's got kind of like white ruffled sleeves, and then a little white ruffled collar neckline that has like a string through it.
Okay.
So you can tie it, up, and then it kind of comes around like this, and then it comes down like this, and it's got just a little string, and it's got like a little bow in it, and then it's like little sleeves with like little kind of like it has like elastic in it or something, but it's not. It's the same string, but it makes the ends come up.
Okay, that's great. And do you notice it? Are you wearing any jewelry or ornamentation on your body?
No.
Do you carry anything in your hands?
I feel like I have like I don't know, like maybe some sandals or flip-flops in this hand.
Okay. How would you describe what those look like?
They're very thin. The bottoms are kind of like this pinkish red color. They are flip-flops. And the top parts are yellow.
Okay. And do you wear anything on your head?
No.
And does your body feel more male or female?
I'm a girl.
And are you a young girl or a young woman?
I'm a young girl.
Okay. Does your body feel healthy or not?
Yeah, it feels healthy. I'm healthy. I seem to be happy. I have slightly tanned skin, and I'm just feeling happy and free, walking on the beach. Nobody's bothering me or nothing. It's my beach. I have it all to myself.
Oh, that's so nice. How do you usually spend your time? What do you like to do during the day?
I like to run around on the beach and explore, and I like to go like on other parts of the beach, like behind the beach in the dunes, and see stuff there and just explore and hunt for things. But when I'm allowed to.
You're allowed to, okay.
Yeah, because sometimes I have to do stuff at my house. But when they kind of like set me free, then I get to go run and play and do stuff. And I love doing it.
Perfect. Well, let's do this. Let's leave that scene. Let's go to your house where you eat and sleep at in that time that you're viewing, and now you're there. And describe for me what your house looks like from the outside.
It's a wooden house. It has a little porch on it. There's like some wooden tables and things that sit out in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like it kind of has a courtyard in the front of it, maybe. Like my mom and my aunts, they cook stuff, they make stuff or cook stuff out on these tables outside the house. Something like with preparing food. I don't know what.
What are your mom and your aunts like?
My mom is she's kind of like, she's not old, so she's kind of youngish. She has brown hair.
What does her clothing look like?
Very simple little dress, kind of like my top, but it's like a dress with a little tie around the waist, and it's kind of flowy. It's light cotton, and she kind of has on like same kind of like little sandals or kind of flop kind of shoes, something very simple.
Okay.
What's interesting though is that she has dark hair. I have blonde hair.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah.
Is her complexion lighter or darker?
It's slightly darker than mine.
Okay. You're doing really good. And your wooden home, is it one level or two?
One.
One. And when you go inside, now you're there, describe for me what you see inside your home.
It's very simple little house. Wooden floor. There's a small table, but it seems like a lot of the work's done out front. Like a lot of the cooking or preparing of the food's done out front, and sometimes a lot of the eating of the food is done out front. And there's like a old stove like that, like uses like wood or coal or something. It's not like, it's like a regular like stove and cooktop and stuff. That
Not modern.
no. And just like little the cabinets don't have doors on them. They're just shelves where you put things in, and then a countertop. And then the beds are like they're mats that like a mat that you roll out, like a sleeping bag kind of thing. And so our rooms are kind of small, but if you're good and you make up your bed, then you have more room.
Okay, that's smart.
I'm not always very good at making up my bed. My mom always goes, make up your bed. So, but you have more room then to do things, because we roll it up and then we push it to the side or something. And so I have a whole big room.
That's interesting. That would make sense.
Yeah.
More space. And you said that some of the cooking or a lot of the cooking happens outside?
It seems like they prepare things. There's a couple of tables out there, and it seems like they prepare things on the table. Like they prepare the food, and then it needs to be sometimes taken and cooked. It can be cooked outside, or if it gets colder, then it'll be done inside.
Oh,
I
that
think.
makes sense. And when you're having a meal right now, just a normal type of meal there, what type of things are you eating?
Corn, stuff made with corn, and then there's seems to be a lot of some fruits and some vegetables and fish, and sometimes they get other things from the ocean. I don't really like ocean food.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that, but they will put it in I don't know how to describe it. It's not like it's like corn kind of things that we use to eat the food or wrap the food in it.
Okay.
Are used to pick it up and eat it.
Oh, that makes it easier?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we eat off like they'll fix it. It'll be on a big tray. So you sit around and then you pick your things and you eat your things.
Okay.
And
so there's a group of people sitting around a big tray like that of food?
Yeah. Our family and like whoever helps to fix will do it. And then like the adults, like they eat weird sea stuff that I don't like.
Oh, they like the sea.
They like
food.
the sea stuff. I don't like the sea stuff.
And
because I see it alive when I go down to the beach, and they get kind of some of the stuff, like if you walk on the rocks, you can see like sea urchins and stuff like that, and like little crawly things, like little like shrimps and stuff. Well, I hate those things. But they like them, and they try to tell me that I should like them too, because they're easy to get, and there are plenty of them and everything. But I want the fruits, and I like the vegetables, and I will eat some fish, but I'm not eating those other ugly looking things.
Okay. And your family that's around, that sharing that food with you, is there anything about those people that stands out that you want to mention?
No, we just all seem to live like in a village, and it's like they're huts, kind of like, they're not huts, but they're kind of like huts, and they're all kind of like not connected, but they're like nearby. So like my family will live here, and then like maybe my aunt and family will live here, and we'll share the same courtyard to make the food and stuff.
Okay.
So we kind of like live as a family kind of group in a way, kind of, because they live in their little places, and then we come out to make the food and do whatever. Things are kind of done like the women do things kind of together, like wash the clothes in buckets, big buckets, and then we hang them on the lines, and then those kind of things.
Okay.
I'm not sure I don't.
The men, what are the men like there?
The men wear they wear long cotton, kind of like cotton thin pants too, that have like kind of like a little rope belt, and a little lightweight shirt, and they have like little straw hats. They either go out in their boats, but they're not big boats. They're little, they're not like big boats. They're little boats, and they do fishing, and they get the seafood and stuff. And they also have they do gardening.
Okay.
But they do it like together, like Mama and my aunts do cooking and cleaning together. They do the farming and the fishing together. And they used to sometimes try to get me to go out and get some of the things, but I'm not touching those things. So I'm not doing it. And sometimes I just like to run away and escape so they can't find me, because if they find me, they make me do stuff. And I don't want to do the ladies stuff, and I don't want to do the fishing either. So I just want to go play.
Okay. What is your father like?
He's nice. He's a nice man. He's kind of tall, and he always seems happy. And he's in charge of the fishing.
Oh, that's an important job.
So he does that, and so he always tries. There's a few I don't know what their names are, but there's a few fish that I will eat. So he always tries very hard to get the fish that I like so that I will have some fish to eat.
Do you have brothers or sisters?
No. But my aunts have some kids.
Okay. So those are your friends that you play with?
Sometimes, but I like being by myself.
Why do you think you like being by yourself so much?
Because I can do whatever I want to do. And I can make up my own games and my own stories, and I can go on my adventures. And if they're hanging out with me, I can't do it. I have to do what they want to do. And I don't like doing what other people want to do. I want to do what I want to do.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Is there anything else about where you live that you notice that you want to mention?
Palm trees. I don't know I don't think we have cars. I don't know.
How do people get around there?
I don't know. I don't. We tend to just walk wherever we need to go. Okay. I mean,
sure.
It's kind of like our own village, so we just kind of hang there with our people and do stuff. It's really kind of simple life.
Sounds nice.
It is.
All right. Well, you're doing great. Let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at, and let's drift and float to an important day in that life. And now you're there. And what do you notice happening?
I went to the beach and I came back and nobody's around.
No one's around?
No.
What else do you notice?
It's very quiet.
Say that again?
It's very quiet.
Oh.
Nobody's there. I think something bad has happened.
Okay. So, what do you do next?
Well, I see my cousin, and he said something bad happened on the fishing boat. And so everybody's over there, so I go over there, and something happened to the boat. I don't know, it fell over, it capsized, something happened, and my dad, he drowned.
Oh.
And so they were trying to make him come back alive, but he can't.
So you're there where the rest of the village is at?
Everybody ran to there because they heard something had happened, so everybody went there and I don't know how it happened. I just see everybody around, and I see my daddy, and he's not going to get up. My cousin says your daddy's not going to get up. Something bad happened.
Oh no. And do you see your mom or your aunts?
My mommy's knelt down beside him and she's crying.
Oh.
And all the men are very sad too. Everybody's very sad. And I feel very sad.
And then what do you do next?
anything. I just sit there. 'Cause everything feels like it's changed now. I'm not happy. And I don't want to explore. I don't want to go to the beach. 'Cause the water is bad.
Oh. And so you and your mom and the people, do they bring your father's body back to the village?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
We go down by the beach, and they put his body on like this wooden thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're given back to wherever you die.
Okay, so that's part of the ceremony?
So they will take him out into the ocean and release him, because that's where he died. Wherever you died is where you are released.
I see.
If you die in the field, you're buried in the field.
Oh, interesting.
Because that's where your soul left.
And so they take him back to the water?
On a little thing that they made, they take him out, and he's covered with like looks like palm leaves or something.
Okay.
It's green. They cover him up, and he goes out there, and they do it really quickly after they find you dead.
Okay.
It's like it needs to be done because your soul went.
Okay.
And you got to go back to where it was that it went.
Okay, so they do that fairly fast after they pass?
If they can.
Yeah. So he's covered with palm leaves?
And they take him out. And then I don't want to see. I turn my head, but my mommy explains that they kind of dump him in the ocean further out, or kind of near where he was when he fell, when something happened with the boat.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to see him go. So I don't want to look.
I get it. I understand. And when that's all done, then what do you do?
I just sit on the beach with my back to the water. I don't think I'll ever like the beach again.
Oh.
I don't know what I will do now.
All right. You're doing so very good. Is there anything else there that day that you noticed that you want to mention?
No. It was just very happy before that day.
All right. Well, let's leave that scene you're looking at. Let's drift and float to another important day in that life. And now you're there. And what's happening now?
I'm getting married.
Oh, tell me all about getting married.
I have on a pretty white dress. It's still kind of like the top I had when I was a little girl, except it's fluffier.
Oh, nice.
And I have, somehow my mom has gotten me, somebody went far away into a big bigger place. And she got me some little white sandals to go with my white dress.
Oh my.
And my hair is pulled back, and she's put flowers in it. And I'm getting married, and the person I'm marrying was a new boy that came to the area. He wasn't one of our family members. He was new, and he came to live there.
Well, what brought him to your area to live, I wonder?
I'm not sure. He came there from somewhere else to live with my aunt. I don't know if he somehow belonged to like my aunt's husband's family, and he came to live there. But he's tall, and he's thin, and he reminds me of my daddy.
Oh.
And he's very, very nice to me. But he doesn't go in the ocean.
What does he do to spend his time?
He works in the fields to get the vegetables. And that's why I said that I would marry him if he never went into the ocean to fish.
Yeah.
And he says he doesn't really like to go into the ocean. And he's like me. He doesn't like those horrible things that they eat too.
Oh, okay.
So he said that he doesn't really care for going into the water. He likes to walk on the beach, but he doesn't really care to go into the water, that he's actually kind of scared of the water.
Oh.
So in like deep water,
Right.
he would rather work on the land. So when he came, he asked my aunt, could he help the people do the farming? And I decided that he would probably be a safe person to marry.
Okay. Wow.
I don't know if I really love him, but I really like him a lot, and he's very, very nice. He feels safe.
Okay. And so when you get married, what is that experience like?
Very simple. I mean, we get married. It's a very simple ceremony. He's very kind, and he's very sweet. And he listens to me. He understands when I need to have my private time. And he lets me still go and kind of explore. But sometimes I like to help him in the fields because he's nice to me. And I want to help him do his things because he's nice to me.
Very good. What do you think married life will be like?
It's going to be the same stuff my mom and aunt does. I'm going to now have to cook food, wash clothes, all the stuff that I used to escape from and run away from. Now I got to do because I got no excuses. But it's okay. Because sometimes he tells me to just go run away and do stuff.
He understands you, it sounds like.
Yeah, he gets me. And that's why I like him. Because my daddy got me. And he's a lot like my dad.
Okay. Well, anything else going on there that day that you notice?
No, I just know the wedding was really nice and fun, and I was very thankful to my aunts because they put a lot of effort into it, and that shows me how much they care about me.
Yeah. They all love you.
And they take good care of my mom now since I don't have my dad around, and I really appreciate that everybody takes good care of her. It's like all the men have become like her husband. Like they all take care of her and make sure that because they love my dad so much that my mom is taken care of. So that's very, very good. She always knows she's taken care of.
Oh, that's so important. Okay, you're doing great. Well, let's leave that scene and let's drift and float to another important day in your life there. And now we're there. And what do you notice happening now?
I'm older.
Okay.
I have gray hair. It's long and I keep it up in a bun. There's lots of kids around now.
Oh, do you feel a connection to those kids?
I think they're my grandchildren.
Okay.
And I'm just sitting on the steps of the porch. And the other people are preparing the food. And the kids are running around playing and screaming and having fun. And I'm just watching. And I like it because I'm not having to do anything. It's all being done for me.
Oh my! I was going to ask how you like that or not, but it feels nice to have the others taking care of you.
And I live in my same house.
Okay.
My mom's not here anymore, but I live in her house. I'm sitting on her front porch, and the other women, the newer women, they're doing the food on the tables. It's like we're having a feast or a party or something.
Do you get a sense of what the celebration is about?
I think it's my birthday.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And everybody's doing things. I don't think my husband's here anymore.
Does it feel like he has passed?
Yeah, I think it's just me. I'm really old.
And how are they celebrating you?
They're decorating the tables with flowers and things, and they're making, my favorite food. I do not have to see any of that gross stuff at all on the table. And they've gone out and got some of the fishes that I like, but mainly it's the fruits and the vegetables.
Oh, that's nice.
And they're being nice to me. I think I might have a tendency to be grumpy.
Oh, why do you say that?
I don't know. I just kind of get this feeling that I'm a bit grumpy and bossy. I don't think I was as laid back as my mama.
Okay.
I think I'm a bit tell people what to do kind of thing.
Okay, but on this day, it sounds like you're...
But I'm okay. I'm sitting because nobody's asking me to do anything but to sit and watch, and then we'll eat.
Sounds like a nice day.
Yeah. But I can't go down to the beach by myself anymore. Someone has to help me go down to the beach.
Oh, what do you think about that?
It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to get old. I mean, and it's been good. But I always like to look back on the days when I was younger.
Yeah.
And the beach was all mine.
Wonderful childhood.
Yeah.
All right, you're doing so good. Let's do this. We're going to leave that scene you're looking at. We're going to drift and float to the very last day of that life. And now you're there. And what's going on? Why will it be your last day?
I just go to sleep and I don't wake up.
Oh.
I wander off into dreamland.
That sounds very peaceful.
It's like a dream was calling me, and I followed it.
Describe for me what that dream was like.
It was very colorful. And he just told me it was time to go. And I said, okay. And a hand reached out through the dream. I don't know whose hand, but I just took it and I went.
And what did you notice then?
Bright white light, like sun, like being close to the sun, kind of, with a pink, a touch of pink.
Nice.
But it's like I'm in this like just light.
How does that feel?
It feels warm. The light is like light, but you can almost feel it. It almost like it's like a I don't know, like a cloud, like cotton, like it cushions you. It's like the light's hugging you in a kind of weird way. And it's quiet and it's peaceful. And it's like, and that I see the rock at the end of the beach. And I can hear people on the other side of it calling to me and telling me, come on over. We're waiting for you. Come on over. And I can see it. So I'm going to go over there.
As you're going over there, as you look back on that life, what were some of the lessons that you learned in that life?
For me, I learned how important freedom was. To be able to be free and do the things that I wanted to do. To know that I was so loved by the people. Even when I was being difficult, they still loved me. My mom was so kind and easygoing.
And every life has a purpose. What would you say your purpose was in that life?
To experience being free, and that it's okay to be just alone and enjoy the peace of just being with yourself, and how much fun just being with yourself can be. Just kind of like exploring and being with yourself and not having any distractions. And that I'm fun to be with myself.
Right. And is there anything else about that lifetime that stands out that you want to mention as you're walking around to that other side?
I need to forgive the ocean.
You need to forgive the ocean.
It wasn't the ocean's fault my dad died. It was a mistake. It was an accident. It wasn't the water's fault. And it's okay to be in the water. The water's good. The water gives us so much, so many things.
And so how is it for you that you forgive the ocean, I wonder?
It's freeing, because now I can walk in the water and I can look at it and be thankful, and I know that my dad's part of it.
Oh yeah.
It didn't take him. He just chose to be part of it.
And as you're walking around to the other side, now you're there, what do you notice now?
wow, there are lots of people that I used to know that are now there, and they have a bright clothes. We used to wear like kind of washed out pale clothes. They have all kinds of bright clothes. They're very bright on this side.
How do you perceive yourself there?
I'm young again.
Oh.
I'm young. Oh, wow. And I have on the brightest yellow dress I have ever seen. And I'm just happy to see everybody. And they're like all having fun and talking and chatting. And there's even people I don't even know that are there. It's like everybody that's on this side goes to that side or something. I don't know.
Interesting. And do you get a sense of how you'll spend some time there with everybody else?
Right now, just catching up.
Oh, that's nice.
And meeting people I've never met before.
Oh, that's nice.
And I don't really need to be by myself. I've done that. Now I just need to meet all these people and find out who they are.
What do they share with you?
Sometimes they share their stories. They may tell me when they used to live on the other side, or sometimes I ask how they died, or most of them had like accidents or died of old age too. But mainly I enjoy the chatter. The chatter of people. And all the bright colors.
Wow. Do you happen to see your father over there or your mother?
You're sitting on a bench, like waiting for me to get through all the chatter. They're like at the very end of all the chatter. And I see them sitting there, and they're smiling, and they're happy. And that's why I know that the water is not responsible.
Right. Good to forgive the water. You did so good. All right. You're just doing great. I know you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for her to see today. Why did you choose this lifetime for her to see?
Because I know that she enjoys freedom. And she hasn't really had freedom for a long time.
What do you want her to understand more deeply about that?
She can play. She can play and have fun, be creative, just like she was when she was a little girl. She's done all the other stuff that she needed to do. And now she can just play if she wants to and enjoy it. And sometimes quit worrying about being an adult and just play.
And if she were to do that, what might she discover about herself?
That she's very creative. That she enjoys it. That she spent too much time being over-responsible and worrying about other things. Many times that she had no control over. That to give herself permission to play means less stress. And that other people will go on with their life. She doesn't have to be responsible for them. She needs to be responsible for her.
It's interesting how both the childhood in the lifetime that you showed her and her childhood in this lifetime, it had a lot of similarities with the freedom and the playing outside.
That life was a simple life. Even though there was some tragedy, and she had to be responsible because she had to become an adult. She can still she doesn't need to have a complicated life. Life doesn't need to be that complicated. It can to some degree be simple. We make it complicated for whatever reason, but it can just be simple. We have the power to make it more simple, to get rid of all the distractions, the need to control things, and then just play. Enjoy the simple little things around us that we don't even notice because we get caught up in all the other stuff.
So that lifetime you showed her was to help remind her that she can simplify her life?
Yeah, she can simplify her life. She can let other people take control of their lives and do what they need to. That she's done the taking care of, the big bulk of it. She's been doing that for a long, long time. And she needs to unburden herself of it and give herself permission to just play, be creative, write, make poetry, draw, talk to the plants, pet the cats. Just enjoy the little simple things that we ignore, that we don't think is important. We don't see all the little simple things around us that we could find so much joy in, because we've been caught up in all the other stuff. Clear yourself of the distractions. I have provided all the simple things around you. See them and enjoy them. Appreciate them. Be grateful for them. You're not lacking. Have fun. Just have fun.
Wonderful advice. Thank you for that. Well, as you know, she came to this session with a very interesting and great list of questions. Would it be okay if we get started on that?
Yes.
And would it be appropriate to ask for a scan of her body, please? Please scan the body. Tell us where you are focusing on within her body for healing and repair. We do expect full and complete healing today. Where are you focusing on first within her body?
Then we'll start with the mind.
Okay, and what do you see going on with her mind?
It can be very cluttered at times.
What causes that clutteredness?
Her inability to let go.
Inability of what?
To let go.
Okay, and tell her what she needs to know about that.
She needs to sit. She needs to meditate. She needs to learn how to relax and to just let go. Just become like pure energy, because that's what she is. That's what we all are. Just pure energy. To just relax and float. She can't do that all the time. She'd get killed driving down the road if she did that, but she could just practice that, to give the mind a chance to just relax a bit.
We were talking earlier today, she and I, about how we can make it difficult and we can make it easy when we're trying to do things like that. Do you have any advice for her about that?
Yes. There is a great recliner outside by the pool. In the evenings, when it's dark, relatively quiet, except for the sounds of the night, she needs to go out there, stare at the sky, close her eyes, and practice letting go. Even if just for a minute, to give her mind a chance to practice letting go. She can't do it in the house. There's too many things. I know she loves all of her animals, and I know all of that is important to her, but they do not allow her the opportunity to declutter. She needs to go outside. She likes the night. She likes the darkness. Go outside and do it uninterrupted. If she has to tell people she's going outside, tell people. Make sure they listen to her. She's bossy. They'll listen. And just practice doing it. And then each time, do it for longer and longer pieces. So she can practice how to just declutter the mind. Stop thinking, just be. Just be.
And when she does that, what will she notice differently in her life?
She will notice less stress. She will notice less need to control other things. She will notice that she leaves space for her creative energy to show up, and it will give her peace.
Perfect. Wow. Well, now that she understands that, what are you doing to help declutter that mind for her?
I am trying to, right now, I guess like a laser, I'm trying to zap some of it. There is a lot of stuff in there. I could have used another word, but we'll stick with stuff.
Okay.
There is a lot of stuff in there. And I'm just trying to target some of it. But I don't want to target all of it because she needs to learn how to do it. It cannot be done for her. She needs to learn to do it. If she learns to do it, she will be able to do it from now on in the future.
Perfect. So you're helping to decrease that clutter, and then she's learning with the explanation that you gave earlier of how she can sit out by the pool in her recliner and increase her time to work herself on that project.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's beautiful. Okay, very good. Thank you, thank you. Is there anywhere else in the body that you're looking at for healing and repair?
Scanning third eye so she can see clearer.
Nice.
Third eye is connected to the brain. If I need her to see clearer, she must trust what she sees, which is connected with the clutter in the brain and the doubt in the brain. She needs to be able to clear the brain so she can then trust the clarity that she's going to be able to see.
Nice.
They go together.
Okay.
Then I go down to the throat. If she has clarity with the third eye, she clears the clutter. She can speak with certainty what she has seen. She will have no fear of what she says or others' judgment, because her clarity will be there. She knows what she's seeing. She knows what's there. Let's get the judgment, clutter out of the head, so she can speak with clarity what she sees. And she needs to be able to speak it clearly, firmly, without doubt, regardless of others' judgment. They have to deal with their own judgment. That's not her responsibility. Her responsibility is to provide the message, the clarity. They have to deal with their own judgments. Those three are tied together. Next, I move to her heart. She has a very big heart. She has a lot of compassion, a lot of love, a lot of giving, sometimes to her detriment. So she must be careful to take care of herself and to balance the giving. This also ties in to the mind, the eye, and the voice, the throat. The message must be given with compassion, with love, empathy. It will be heard clearer, easily, if it is given with love and compassion. Which brings us to the solar plexus, the gut, where she keeps all of her fear. This, like the mind, must also be decluttered. They're connected. Her fear is here. She needs to talk to her gut. Talk to the fear, understand where it comes from, and release it. It serves no purpose in her life. It is no way supposed to protect her now. Maybe in her younger years it was to protect her, but it has no protection value now. It's just there to unsettle and confuse her. So she needs to release her fears.
And when she does that, what will she notice differently in her life?
She will feel less anxiety and stress, less doubts. Here also, the fear is the ego. The ego is fighting with her. It doesn't want these to work together.
Why not, I wonder?
The ego wants to be in control. It doesn't want to give up control. It feels that it's served her well, and she should appreciate that. It's gotten her where she is today. But it hasn't. This has always been behind her. This is an illusion.
The fear is an illusion?
The fear, the sense that the ego is in control, is an illusion.
So how can we have a partnership with the ego where it's working together with her and not fighting her?
Very good question. The ego needs to be given some tasks so that it still feels useful. If we try to push the ego completely out, it will fight harder. So we need to make sure that the ego has some tasks. For example, the ego is very good at controlling how she writes. perhaps how she presents how she writes. So we need to tell the ego, all of this is working together to provide a message, but I need you to help us present that message.
With the writing?
With writing, or even with speaking.
Right.
You've had so many years of experience, so much schooling, so much training and education. You know how to do it. Help us do it. We can't do it without you because you're speaking to other humans who also have their egos. Your ego will speak to their ego the message of the soul. Can work together.
And how does the ego feel about that proposition?
The ego says, okay, that was a good sell. I think I can do that. But we must remind the ego to not get over its skis. It needs to make sure that it doesn't become high and mighty and think that it has done it all by itself.
And what does the ego say to that in return?
Ego says it will try, and it may even allow the soul to help keep it in check.
Oh, nice.
The ego has to do that because if the ego starts to think that it's in control and it is the message, then the power of the message loses. It always loses when the ego thinks that it's all powerful and all knowing. The ego is not the knowing. The ego is the medium of which the knowing is presented to the world. It is a helper. It is not the source. And as long as it stays in the position of helper, it can be of great help.
Beautiful.
But it must stay in that position.
I feel like we've had a pretty good mediation session here. Lots of good to come from this for her.
Well, we will see if we can put ego to test and see.
Yeah, I bet it's up to that.
Ego's a baby. It'll learn. Just like Denise will have to clean the clutter from her head is a process. Ego learning to share and to cooperate is a process. It'll take time, but it can be done, and it will be done.
Nice. And how is life different for her when the ego and the rest of her energy is working in sync together?
It's sublime. It's at peace. It's fulfilling. It's everything she's ever dreamed of. Denise has always wanted to help, be it smallest animal to adult, to the whole planet Earth she holds in her hands. She's always wanted to help. Doesn't mean she doesn't get frustrated and angry. She wants to help. If they can cooperate, she can make powerful changes. But she must stay true to herself and not get caught up in the judgment or criticism of others, nor the praise and adoration of others. It must be a balance. That is how she stays true to herself. She cannot lean either way. She must go down the middle.
Okay. Now, she had brought up about having anxiety and panic attacks. The first one, which really took her by surprise, a friend thought maybe it was a Kundalini rising experience, but she took herself in an ambulance to the hospital over it. What was going on at that very first experience that you want her to know and understand more deeply?
It was a multitude of things. First, she was holding on to much anxiety that needed to be released. And secondly, I needed to open her up and get her attention. Denise is very stubborn. Sometimes it's hard to get her attention properly. I needed a big bang, something to shake her world.
Right.
That shook her world. I have shaken her world many times through her life to try to get her to wake up. I tell her, do you know who you are? People have asked her, do you know who you are? She likes to hear it, but she does nothing with it. I wanted to shake her up. And it was the starting point, the origin point that would finally lead her to go see her therapist that she adores and is absolutely perfect. Chosen for her. They were chosen for each other. They both will learn and teach each other. And it led her to here, and it will lead her to other things if she will keep on the path, and I don't have to shake her up again.
Right.
Okay. But I will if I need to.
And so she said that where they kind of went away, those anxiety attacks for a while, they were kind of starting to come back. What can she do to help herself through those and let those go?
Clear the clutter. Go sit in the chair. Learn to relax. Trust who she is. Just sit in a state of being one with herself. It's difficult for her. She has a lot going on. It's hard for her to quieten that mind. She's going on and on and on. Gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta take care of this. No, you don't. Things will get taken care of by themselves. Nobody's gonna die because you didn't step in and control everything. She needs to just clear the clutter. If she can clear the clutter, everything will start to open up, and she will blossom like a flower. But not only will she blossom like a flower, but those around her will blossom like a flower. She has a lot to learn, but she has so much more to teach and give. But she's got to clear the mind.
And you've given her what she needs to know about clearing her mind earlier?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, I'm going to move on to her list. Is that okay?
Okay.
She asks, what is her purpose in this life?
To change the world one person at a time. I have told her this many times. and she thinks it's grand when she hears it, and then she drops it and moves on because she doesn't want to do the work that's required. Denise is a messenger. She has a message she can give to the world that I have given to her through her. She's helped many people. Sometimes just her presence helps people. But she's got to clear the clutter and allow herself to do it. And to not, what's the word? To quit thinking she's an imposter.
Oh, tell her more about that.
I tell her things, she thinks she's making it up. She thinks it's her imagination. She thinks that she likes being unique or special. That's why she makes these things up. And she gets scared because she thinks if I have too much power, I might abuse it and something bad may happen. So then she gets small again. Mm-hmm. She gets big and she gets small. She gets big and sometimes gets attacked by others, so she goes small. She tries to fly underneath the radar so she doesn't get caught. She has got to forget about all of that. If I send you with a message, you need to give the message. I will take care of you. I will protect you. No one's going to harm you. You are your greatest harm, not anyone else. Don't be afraid of your power. Just so long this is in alignment and has an agreement with the ego, everything will be fine. And you're not an imposter.
She wonders, why did she agree to come to Earth at this time?
She thought it would be valuable to provide a healing message to the world. She thought it would be, I don't want to say fun, but curious, fun. She thought it would be a great thing to do. And she thought she was up for it. And she is. If she would quit putting obstacles in her path.
Doesn't need to do that anymore, does she?
No. But it's a pattern. It's a pattern. And so it will take time to clear the path of the clutter.
Right. She had mentioned again when we were talking earlier about she sometimes felt that the really hard things that happened to her in life were to learn from, so especially in her own practice, she could give better advice to her patients. From your perspective, what do you say about that?
Your greatest gift to others is to learn the ability to love yourself, to forgive yourself, to have compassion for yourself. That's the most difficult thing to do. It's sometimes easier to have compassion for someone else than it is to have compassion for yourself. It's easier sometimes to forgive others than to forgive yourself. I needed her to practice forgiving herself, having compassion for herself, loving herself. You cannot truly give love to the world, shine love to the world, if you cannot give it to your own self. Because compassion and love, if you have it within you for yourself, will flow out of you like the sun's rays flows out of the sun. You don't even have to do anything. It'll touch you. It'll touch the people around you. I gave her many difficult things. The loss of her child, she blamed herself for it. She blamed herself. She thought I punished her because she had the abortion. The abortion was to teach her to quit being so self-righteous and to walk and have compassion for others. She wasn't going to learn that. It's very difficult at times. And other things. I needed her to forgive herself for the abortion and have compassion for herself on that. I needed for her to forgive herself that the two weren't linked, that she didn't cause the death of her child because it was punishment. There's no need for punishment. I just want you to learn. So everything else is like that. I'm trying to teach her to have compassion, love for herself. If she can do that, then she can easily share it with others.
Beautiful. Okay. She wants to know why she chose her parents that she did in the current life.
To love, even when at times the people feel unlovable or the ability to be loved. If I had given her easygoing parents, she would never have asked questions. She would never search for answers. She would have just flowed with them. I needed her to fight back, to push back, to question, to ask things, to be able to give answers, to speak from her soul, from her heart. It's preparation for the future. People will criticize her. They'll push back on her. She needs to be able not to fight them, but to provide them an answer through love.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you for that. She wonders, what is her purpose in this stage of life? And please provide guidance, she asks.
To finish doing what I sent you here for. Yeah, you've touched many people's lives. You've helped many people. I need you to keep doing that. But perhaps on a larger scale, larger medium. You've thrown little pebbles in the water with ripples. I want you to throw a big stone in there. Big ripples. Somehow that you can get more people's attention once you're aligned. This needs to be in a good place. This has to all be in a good place and aligned.
The head through the third eye, through the throat.
In the heart. And in
the sacral.
And keeping the ego in check and anything. And being, I guess in some ways, keeping the ego in check is staying grounded.
Nice. Okay.
You know, you were here for a reason. Stay grounded. And you've reached many people through being a one-on-one therapist. I think it now needs to go in a different form. That does not mean that there won't still be one-on-one, but on a different form, using her creativity, her mind, her education, everything that every experience, all her education, everything has built upon itself and is continuing to lead to her purpose on this earth.
Well, she did ask specifically if she should go back to practicing therapy or be a writer and express her ideas through novels, or was there something else that she's not aware of yet?
I think she needs to use her creativity more. I think one-on-one therapy, she's done that for many years. She served that purpose, sent out those small ripples. Like I said, she will still continue to do that, but not in a therapy setting. I think she needs to now move on to her writing. She has a novel in progress right now that touches on many of the things that we've talked about. I think it needs to be writing, speaking, talking to larger groups, to try to get the message out there. Things are shifting, and people need to be aware of that, and they need to be ready. And people can receive messages in different ways. Some people receive messages from one-on-one therapy. Somebody can read a message from reading a book, but in a through a story. Doesn't have to be direct. Through talks, through whatever. I think she needs to look at her creativity and use that to put the message out there. So I think she needs to get back on her path. She needs to continue writing, and she needs to do the other work that I talked about, so that writing can be clear, the message can be clear, and when the time is to present. I sent her so many good ideas in her dreams.
She says she dreams all the time, continuously.
I sent her so many creative dreams. I'm a publisher's delight. So she should take some of that and quit being afraid about, does she have good writing skills or storytelling skills? Just write. Just have fun with it. Always have fun. Just be creative and have fun. And just do it. I provide her with lots of material.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for that. And what, if any, unique or special talents does she have or need to use in this life to fulfill her life's purpose?
Oh, where do I start? Denise has a great sense of humor. She uses humor very well to engage people, to de-escalate conflict, negative situations. She uses humor very well. She uses humor to tell a story, to get a message across, get people's attention, get people laughing, they'll listen to you. She could be a comedian if she wanted to. She has a huge heart and a lot of love to give, if it's balanced. Can't overdo it and exhaust yourself. She's a lot more intelligent than she gives herself credit.
Tell her about that.
I think she's always done very well in school, made great grades. Teachers have always commented on that. She didn't do well in the SATs. So I think she's always been fearful that she's not smart enough. She had learning disabilities. She has learning disabilities. So reading comprehension in the beginning was very difficult for her. Her vocabulary was very limited in some ways compared to what she wanted it to be, or compared to James. James has the most amazing vocabulary. And so there is a battle within her as to whether or not how smart she is. Not that she needs to be smart, like in an ego sense, but that she uses these gauges to decide if I'm smart, you know. There's more to just being smart or intelligent as tested by some stupid test. She has experiences, life experiences. She has an intuition that if she would trust, tells her stuff all the time. I mean, she's helped so many clients just by listening to her intuition. She just needs to trust that she's smart enough to do these things. She has the intelligence. She has the skill to write, to do these things. Not to let others take in others' criticism. She's good at that. If somebody criticizes her, she will listen to it, go off with it, think about it, take what she thinks is correct and what isn't. She's not afraid to admit she's flawed. She's not afraid to admit that there's things she gets wrong. She's okay with that. But at the same time, keep moving forward. You got a story to tell the story. Just tell it. So she has, there's skills that she has that she doesn't always trust. There's, whatever better word, metaphysical, supernatural, whatever, skills that she has that she doesn't trust sometimes. She senses things that are there. She sees things in vision form that are important for her to know. Her dreams, people come to her in her dreams, speak to her. I speak to her. She has healing powers. She has a lot of knowing, deep knowing. She just has to trust herself and quit questioning it and just quit worrying about, like, is she an imposter or if it's real. It's real. Just go with it. I mean, what does it hurt to go with it? Just go with it. You know, I mean.
She was telling me when she was a young girl, her little brother had a wart and she knew that she could heal him because he was afraid of the doctor removing it. And she put her finger on it, said it was going to be gone in 7 days, told him to believe it. He said he would. 7 days later, it falls off. What do you want her to know about that experience she had?
She did it. She believed she had the power to do it, and thus it manifested itself.
Nice. Did his belief in her also have a part to play in that?
No, it was all about her having a belief in herself. She has difficulty believing in herself when it comes to these areas.
Okay. Well, on kind of a whole different scale, she was mentioning a little boy that she played with that was mean to her, that she wished wasn't there anymore. And then shortly after he passed, and she felt like she had caused that experience to happen. What do you want her to know about that?
That was a child's wish that somebody would protect her from someone that was harming her. In no way will I give you the power to harm someone else. You are only endowed with the power to help and heal. I will not give you the power to harm someone.
That's so good to understand. Her little mind had a hard time wrapping itself around that.
She just wanted somebody to tell him no,
right,
and to stop. And If she had made a different choice, she did not seek help. That was something she needed to learn too. She should have sought help. She didn't seek help. Had she sought help and told her mom or dad, they would have probably come up with a plan. The mother of the child was never going to stop him. He was like a prince to her. That's why he was so out of control. But she didn't seek help, but she wanted it to stop. I would never give her the power to harm someone. That is not what I do. That is not who I am.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. Okay. She's going on this amazing trip to Japan and Korea. Do either of these places play a part in her life's purpose, and how so?
Her future lies there in some way.
Oh, explain that for her, please.
I think there is something that she needs to go there to find and learn. She needs to do that on her own. I'm not going to tell her what that is right now. She needs to go there, and she's on that path. She knows she's on that path. But there's a future involved there. Be it stories, be it therapy, be it helping the smallest group. These are places in her past. She knows these places well. She just doesn't remember that she knows them well.
When she gets there, especially to Korea where she hasn't been before, will memories be there for her?
She'll be there. She will feel it. She will know it if she keeps her mind open.
She's very excited for this adventure. About her very, very special meditation spot in her mind where it's in middle of a village square that she's created. The square is old, surrounded by buildings and shops, and each with different doors. Behind each door lies past mistakes, karma, and baggage that needs to be released, cleansed, or forgiven. There is a row of very old doors with locks on them on one side that sits in the darkest part of the square. These buildings seem to contain old baggage, possibly prior to this life. About all of that, she asks, please provide her with any insight into what's behind these old doors.
I will tell her this. The issues, events, situations, whatever, behind those doors do belong in prior lives, but have also been acted out in this life. They're much deeper. She's making a list of things that she can remember. After she completes that list, she will then come to these doors. I will not directly tell her what's behind those doors right now. That would be too easy. I need her to work for this. There's nothing to be feared at all behind these doors. She will find them in her dreams, and she will find them if she goes and she meditates. I promise that I will provide the information to her. But she has to keep going to the square, and she has to keep looking at the doors. She has to keep feeling the locks in her hands. She has to not fear them. There can never be... I don't want there to be fear in the square. There's no need for it. There's no place for it. We all make mistakes as humans. We all look back on things and with greater wisdom wish we could have done it differently. These these locks play music. They're nothing to be afraid of, scared of. And I need her to just spend time looking at them and talking to them. They will talk back to her.
That's such a unique meditation location to pick, with all the doors and the different variants of light on each side of the square. Is there more about that location that you want her to understand?
I've showed her the square different times, and there's been different things. I showed her the square once for her to understand which the vortex was the precursor to the doors with the locks, to her to understand that everything that you do today or you do in this lifetime is not somehow contained just in this lifetime. Other lifetimes spill into other lifetimes. And so showing her the many lives in the center of this square as it went down, I wanted her to understand that everything that you do today, mistakes, traits that you have, issues that you have, are usually things that have spilled over from other lifetimes that you either haven't worked on or you're gradually working on. Everything's a process. The brighter the light just means it's easier. It's closer in your awareness, closer to the surface of your consciousness. Those are the ones easy you can think about. Oh, I hurt so-and-so's feelings. Oh, I should have been there for so-and-so. Not should in a big bad way like shoulda, coulda, woulda. But you knew at the time, your soul knew that this would have been a good time to help that person, and you made a different decision than your soul wanted you to. So as the lights get dimmer, so does the level of your awareness. The doors with the locks, it's dark because it's more in the shadow. It's not easily accessible or available to you. It's going to require a little bit more work, a little bit more sitting and talking to the doors, a little bit more meditation. Nothing comes easily. You have to work for it. That's part of the journey and the process. If I hand her stuff, she will not learn from it. I have to make her work for it. That's kind of who she is. And I will give it to her if she works toward it and asks for it.
Okay, that's understood. We talked earlier about what a prolific dreamer she is, but she does bring that up again. She wonders, what are her dreams telling her? How does she process and interpret them?
Very easily. Get up from your dream. What is the themes? It's not even about, to some degree, what are the people? What are the themes? What are the emotions that come up for you? What are the themes? Use that. Go to therapy. Talk about it. Once again, a lot of those themes, those emotions, they have played out in this lifetime, but they're behind those locked doors. They have been flowing lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. If you want to cleanse yourself of it this lifetime, talk about it. I'm trying to give hints to her, and instead of her getting irritated at me for doing so, she needs to take notes. Keep a book by your little notebook by your thing. Wake up in the morning, write it down, and then process it. It'll become very clear what the patterns are, what the themes are, what you need to let go of.
Very good. She wonders if she's ever had interactions with an alien life form during this life. She feels that she's had a couple of different experiences. What can you share with her about that?
Yes. All of those memories that she has that she thinks is her imagination are not imagination as she defines it. They're real. They're real. They're real memories. She's had people come and visit her to check on her from her home planet, touch base with her. They were just here to check on her, give her another experience, let her know she's not alone. No one's alone. How do I say this? You are a tiny piece of the universe, and the universe is a tiny piece of you. It's all one. The energy is all one. It all flows together. There is the illusion of separate individual. It's all fluid. It's all the same. And so she has these experiences that she has, and they're not harmful. They're not to hurt her. People come to check on her. She has family. I guess you could call it family all over the universe, as we all do.
And she asked, has she lived on another planet or galaxy?
Yes.
Tell her all about that, please.
She's been on many planets in many kind of forms, from the simplest form. I guess if we want to maybe say the form in which you're more closer to who you are now. I guess the kind of organic, humanoid type form. When she looked up at the star, she was looking at her solar system. And if she remembers correctly, that star has never been there again. I knew she came out. She came out that day, that night. She looked up at the sky. She goes out many times again to look up at that same place. I needed her to know something. Life was very easy there, very simple there. Earth is very difficult. I can understand her homesickness for simple.
She said she felt very, very homesick at that moment.
I can understand that. It was very simple there, laid back, easygoing. How can I say this? Not the clutter that Earth provides us. Earth is a wonderful learning experience. It has a lot of clutter. But that's important. You have to work through all of that. That's part of it. And you can have fun with it, or it can be difficult or scary or whatever. I felt it was important that she know that she belonged somewhere else. She had dreams about it. I wanted to give her a glimpse of that. But I also need her to understand that she is now on Earth. She chose to be on Earth. She has work to do on Earth. And this is where she is now. And this is where her focus needs to be. And she'll go back home sometime.
Okay. Wow. Very cool. Is there anything that she didn't ask that you wish she would have?
Oh, she could have been fun and asked a lot of curious mystery questions.
Any curious mystery answers you would like to give to her?
Nah. She, she knows so much. And she knows so much, but she just sometimes won't trust herself. She has some of the most amazing dreams where I show her some of the most amazing secrets of the world, the universe. And she knows that she has sat on a moon and watched the universe from the Big Bang to now to evolve and develop in a split second. And she remembers that. She knows that. But she discounts it. I wish she would stop discounting things.
Do you think this experience will help her to stop discounting?
Oh, maybe. It's a bad habit of hers. But it's just part of who she is this time. It's part of what she's got to work on. She's been really punished in the past for knowing. And so some of that's behind the doors. That fear of being punished for knowing. And she's got to let go of that. She's got to accept that it's okay. It's okay to know. Times are changing. It's okay to know. Knowing is useful. It's helpful.
In that past life you showed her, where was that at, and approximately when was the time frame for that life?
It's on a remote island. The time frame it's not that long ago. 1900s.
Is that island still there?
Yes, but it's become more developed now. A lot of it's I mean, it's not going to be the way it is now.
What is the area of the world that it's on, I wonder? She might be curious about that.
It's over. It's like, it's over like toward, there's like a bunch of little teeny islands over like, toward like, I guess like toward Malaysia, something over in there. Yes, over in that area.
Okay, just in case she's curious, it's such an interesting life. And I know she likes to travel, so that's great to know. Thank you.
Yeah, she won't, sadly, if she were able to go there, she would feel the energy, but she wouldn't recognize it.
Okay, that's fair enough. When she decided to have this appointment, what did you hope she received from it?
No.
Okay. And I'd like to take a look at the body just to see how all of the healing is doing. You started with the mind, and we really talked quite a bit about the clutter there in the mind that you were going to help remove quite a bit, and she was to work to remove as well, which affected the third eye and the throat and down into the heart and the fear in the sacral chakra. how is everything looking there now?
This is much better.
The fear area?
The fear area is much better.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going to like me. She's going to have a bit of a headache.
Oh.
Just because I've been trying to get rid of some stuff.
Right.
And I don't know how to say this, but there's also been a bit of a fight in her head about getting rid of stuff.
Right.
This head likes to hold on to stuff. So a bit of struggle going on, but it's okay. We release some. If she trusts the knowing, it'll be all cleared. And she will find a way in her own way to accept and to see how they all work together as a team.
Nice. And with the ego being part of that team?
Yeah. Ego's going to be a great help. Ego's going to be fun.
So nice when every part of us works together for the greater good.
She can use her humor with the ego.
Okay. I think that's a wonderful idea. It'll probably respond quite nicely to that, don't you think?
Fingers crossed. We can hope.
Okay.
It will.
Okay, and the rest of the body, is everything in alignment, everything where it should be for her?
As far as those, yes. As we get rid of the stress, I think she will be better able. Her fear, her stress, the more she trusts in her knowing, the less stress she will. They go hand in hand, and I think it's important for her to realize and know that is that the more you trust your knowing and trust your soul, trust who you are, the less stress you will have, the less tired you will be, the less junk, as far as sometimes unhealthy food you will need to put in your body to try to make you feel less tired. That'll all work together to make you both spiritually and physically and mentally healthy.
Nice. Wow, that's great.
Because right now they're all kind of fighting with each other, and so if they're all in sync and aligned properly, then they will flow and work really, really well together.
Wow, that's a whole different type of life to have then.
Yeah. She had that when she was a little child.
She had it when she was little, right? And in the little childhood of the life that you showed her from the
past. Yes.
So she can recall those times, and
it is possible.
Yes.
Even in crazy, hectic world, she can have that. She really can. She can go there.
I would like to ask your perspective on this crazy world that you just mentioned. From your perspective, how is the planet, the people, all these seeming challenges that are up in our faces right now, how are things looking from your perspective?
Civilizations are always in turmoil since the beginning. Seems to be the nature of putting beings on planet Earth. We've yet to ever all together get it together. Everybody's at different levels of development, spiritually or whatever. Civilizations have come, they've collapsed. The Earth itself will continue to I feel exist. The Earth, always adjusts, sometimes better than the beings on it. I feel like right now that the people on the earth, sometimes things are so ridiculously obvious, that they're so ridiculous, that it amazes me that it can't be seen.
Okay.
Like the blinders are so, the clarity of the third. I mean, there's not there's not like a veil over the third eye. There is like a, what can I say? A rock that's like hammered into it. Things are transforming, and sometimes in that transformation is unbelievable chaos. And even though we see so much chaos now, there's been chaos before. I feel more and more people are waking up, but just like Denise, they don't trust their knowing. And it's so much easier to get lost in distraction. That's the easy way, even though it causes us great pain and suffering. It feels easier. I think I see the world in a cycle. It's always cycling. Civilizations are always cycling. Humans are always cycling. They're just kind of spiraling. To some degree, humans sadly stay the same. The only thing that changes to some degree is the technology.
Interesting. Okay, thank you so much for that. Always good to get an update. All right. Gosh, is there anything else that you think that is important for her to know?
No. Not now.
How has it been for you to come through with all this information for her?
Say that?
How has it been for you to have this experience and give her all this information?
It's nice to have the platform, to have the stage. So it can be straightforward. Doesn't need to be interpreted. Just needs to be heard, absorbed, and used. And I hope she'll do that. And if she meditates, as I've asked, then I will be there to help her do that, to trust her knowing, to trust me.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. All right. Well, it's been such an honor to assist her in this way. Thank you so very much for showing her that amazing lifetime, giving clarity to her answers. I know she's going to appreciate it so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You rocked it. You did amazing. Does it feel like you've been laying there a long time or a short time?
It's really odd. There's times that I felt like I was, how do I say this, that I was aware I could hear myself talking and things, but it kind of goes, like some things I can remember, like I'm aware of what I said, kind of. Some things I'm not aware of what I said.
Right.
Some things I have, like I can have sensations, but I don't like actually remember everything about it. Does that?
Yeah.
So it's like bits and pieces of my senses kind of are going in and out at times.
Makes sense. How long do you feel like you've been laying there? What does it feel like?
Oh my God.
If you had to guess.
I don't know. Seems like I don't know, quite a while. Like 3 hours? 2.
You're very close. We've been recording for 2 hours and 37.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't record the story. So that's putting it pretty close to 3 hours. So that's pretty good. You nailed it. What do you remember about the lifetime that you saw?
I'm still confused. I guess that would have been a good question to maybe ask. I'm still confused why my hair
Was blonde?
was lighter than everybody else's.
Yeah. I was wondering, when I asked about your dad, I was wondering if you'd say something about that, but you didn't really describe him.
Because all the women had darker hair. They didn't have like black hair or anything. It was more just darker, like brown. But it was almost, mine wasn't like white blonde, but it was blonde. Like when you've been out in the sun for a long time, you start getting all those blonde streaks, which is what I would do as a kid. I always had very blonde. I had very, very blonde hair as a kid.
Okay, so do this. Close your eyes. Ask yourself that same question. Why did your hair look lighter than the others? And what's the very first thought that comes to mind about that?
Very first thought of, to remind you of how you were when you were a young child. What that felt like. Since I can't truly remember what that felt like in that past life, I can remember what that felt like. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
And that was what came to me.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have the blonde hair, that wouldn't have stood out for me.
Right.
That's in some weird way.
Do you see how you just tapped in and got your answer? How easy that is?
I can trust the knowing.
You can trust the knowing.
That was exactly it. Because I kept thinking, because even during my thing, there was a part of me kept thinking, why do I have blonde hair? Like, did I get dropped off? Like, why do I have blonde? Nobody else has blonde hair. But that's how I swear that's how the universe, soul, source, whatever works for me, is that it has to do really standout things for me.
Right.
Or I will figure out a way to work around it.
Right. Well, good job. You've done very good. You got all your questions answered. We did some very profound healing with especially the mind, which connected to the third eye, down to the throat chakra, the heart.
I have a slight headache.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Yeah, a lot of decluttering going on in the mind. But you've got all of your information on your recording. You've got clarity moving forward in your life if you use that, if you choose to do that. So yeah, you rocked it. A+++. Congratulations. Good job.
Thank you. I thank you. Okay.